Hello students, I'm Jitendra Choyal and today I have brought poem number 1 from class 11th Hornbill English. Today I'm going to explain this poem and the poem's title is A Photograph. This poem has been composed on the basis of a photograph. The poet of this poem is there is the poetess. So the poetess of this poem is Shirley Towson. So Shirley Towson has composed this poem on her mother. This poem is about Shirley Towson's mother. She has described her mother's photograph in this poem. So the poem goes like this. The cardboard shows me how it was when the two girl cousins went paddling, each one holding of my mother's hands, and she, the big girl, some 12 years or so. Now, the cardboard. What do you mean by cardboard? Cardboard is the hard sheet of paper which is used to cover the back part of a photograph. That is known as a cardboard. I think you all are aware of the cardboard. Cardboard is the thick paper sheet which is used to cover the back part of any photograph or picture. So the cardboard shows me how it was. The cardboard shows the poetess. The cardboard shows the poetess that how it was when the two little girls who were the cousins of poetess mother, when they went paddling. Now what is paddling? You can see these three girls, they are standing here on the sea beach in a shallow water. So, and here they are standing, but suppose if they move in this shallow water along with the sea beach, so that is called paddling, means to walk in the shallow water of the sea and on the sea beach. So that is called paddling. Now, each one holding one of my mother's hands. Now, each one holding one of poetess mother's hands. You can see there are three girls in this picture, and both the little cousins, they are holding the hands of this girl. You can see the three girls holding of one another's hands, and they are paddling in the sea water. So now you can consider this girl as a symbol of poetess mother, because she is in the middle and she is the big one out of those three. And so the poet says that some 12 years or so, this girl must be of some 12 years or so. Her age is of 12, means her age was of 12 years when poetess mother went paddling on the sea beach with her two cousins. Now, and she is the big girl. You can see out of these three, the girl who is in the middle, that girl is big means eldest one. So she is the poetess mother, you can consider. Now, all three stood still to smile through their hair. Now, all three stood still to smile through their hair. You can see the girl who is standing here, and her hair are coming over her face due to the wind or the air blowing. Okay, so those three girls also, they were looking through their hair which were falling over their face. So they were looking through those hair, and where were they looking at? At the uncle with the camera. Actually, those three girls didn't go there on the sea beach alone. They went on the sea beach with their uncle, who was having a camera with him for capturing the photographs. So those three girls, through their hair which were falling over their faces, through those hair, they were looking at their uncle, and he might be capturing photographs. Now, at a sweet face, my mother's, that was before I was born. Now the poet says, see, here we need to understand, when a girl or a boy, when a person who is young, so at that time his face remains sweet, cute and sweet, right? So when the poetess says that when poetess was not born, before that her mother's face was sweet, okay? And it was not so that after her birth her mother's face was not sweet, but that was sweet as a child, and now after growing young, she might have become beautiful, right? So sweet and beautiful, both are the different things. So before the poetess birth, her mother's face was sweet when she was a child, when poetess mother was a child. Now, and the sea, which appears to have changed less, washed their terribly transient feet. And here the poet says that the sea where the poetess mother went for paddling along with her cousins, that sea has not been changed a lot, while her mother's feet, the sea washed her mother's feet, her mother's cousin's feet. You can see transient feet. Transient feet means mortal, something which is not permanent, something which is not fixed. That is called transient. So the feet were transient of those girls. The feet of those girls, those three girls, their feet were transient. Transient in the sense, those feet didn't remain the same as they were in the childhood, right? Those feet also changed according to the time, and in comparison with the feet, the sea changed, or the sea seemed to be changed little bit less. Now, some 20-30 years later, since when? Since her mother, since the poetess mother went for paddling along with her cousin, since that time, after 20 or 30 years later, 20 or 30 years later, since then, she would laugh at the snapshot. Snapshot here means the photograph. So the mother, poetess mother, would laugh. She used to laugh at that photograph. After looking at that photograph of those three girls, those three little girls, the mother would laugh after looking at that photograph. See Betty and Dolly, should say, and look how they dressed us for the beach. And what would poetess mother say after looking at that picture? She would say, see Dolly and Betty. Dolly and Betty are the names of poetess mother's cousins. So poetess mother would say after looking at that picture, at that photograph, that see Dolly and Betty, how they dressed us. They here means it might be there, means they might be her parents, they might be her relatives. So how they dressed those people, those girls, all those three girls, she would say after looking at the snapshot. She used to see that snapshot afterwards when she grew young. So she used to see that photograph, and she used to remember her childhood memories. Now, the sea holiday was her past, mine is her laughter. Now it's very important, and it's very important to understand that the sea beach was her past. The sea beach holiday was her past. Her past means whose past? Poetess mother's past. Means she went on sea beach for paddling along with her cousin. That became a past thing for poetess mother when she grew young. And her laughter is mine. And whose laughter? Poetess is saying that my mother's laughter, when she would laugh after looking at that snapshot, after looking at that photograph, when she would laugh, so that laughter has become my past now. Why? That will also be clear to you in the next stanza, why the poetess is saying that her mother's laughter has become a past thing for her. Both wry with the labored ease of loss. Both wry. Wry here means they get disappointed. Both of them, the mother as well as the poetess, both of them, they got disappointed Why? Because they lost certain things. Now, what did they lose? Actually, the poetess lost her mother, and the poetess mother lost her childhood memories, her childhood days, right? So both of them, they tried very hard to keep all those things. They tried very hard to remain in the same situation, but it's difficult because the everything in this world keeps changing. So it was not possible to keep anything as a permanent thing, right, as it is. So they that is why even after trying hard, they were not able to keep those things as it is in the same form, right? So that's why it has been told here, with the labored hard, ease of loss, means easily those things slipped from their hands, and they could not do anything. They could not restrict those things from going. They could not prevent those things from going, right? Now she has been dead nearly as many years as that girl lived. Now who has been dead here? Now the poet is saying that she has been dead nearly as many years as that girl lived. The poet is saying that her mother was dead now, and it has been as many years to her mother's death as many years that girl lived, that young girl lived. That means how many years? 12 years. That girl was of 12 years, and it has been 12 years to the poet's mother that she died. And that's why the poetess told that her mother's laughter has become her past now. Whose past? Poetess past, right? And of this circumstance, there is nothing to say at all. And in this circumstance, for the poetess, it was difficult to say anything because her mother was died, and she was unable to say anything because the circumstances were in such a way that she had to be silent, and she had to remain in silence. It was the silence in her life. So this was the poem. I hope you would have enjoyed it. Thank you very much.